Good evening, folks. Red County Blue Nation. Great state of Colorado. Little county of Custer. Stephen Rorick, James McMahon. Jimmy, how are you this evening, buddy?
We're doing good, getting a little bit of snow. Got the cattle fed and got some walls framed up today, and things are going good. Days are getting longer.
Yeah, days are getting longer. Yeah, it's 7 o'clock, and it was daylight out there just a little bit ago, so yep.
So you made her back from Florida. Everything's good?
I did.
You have a good time?
I did.
Get out of the tundra down in the...
Wondering what I'm doing back here. Just for the record, we were supposed to have Bill Ken on this evening, so I kind of rushed my trip, but he called me today and said that he couldn't make it, so I should have stayed in Miami. Surely could have made more money. But no, it's all good.
Right on, right on.
A couple of my cohorts had obligations as well, so but,
We're all trying to make a living.
it was a good little chance. I've never been farther east than Missouri, so
Oh, so you really drew outside the lines.
yeah. Yeah, and then we had that big ice storm. I think they made it out bigger than it actually was, but yeah, we jetted all the way to cut across between Dallas and Waco over to Beaumont, Texas, and then ended up in Baton Rouge, New Orleans,
Took the lower.
Mobile, Alabama,
Yeah.
or Mississippi, or whichever one that is, and then out through the panhandle of Florida, Tallahassee, stopped in Orlando, spent the night there, and then eased on down to Miami, and got to check out a couple of the unrivaled basketball games, be the professional women's three-on-three league.
Very nice.
That they just started. So, yeah, that was cool. We had VIP seats. And
those are the professional
yeah, that's
top of the top, huh?
It's top of the top, man.
Wow.
I mean, it's just before the regular season starts.
Nice.
So, but yeah, 3-on-3 is there's less people on the floor, more running and gunning.
Oh, heck yeah.
More street type.
It is. You bet.
But yeah, it was fun, man.
That's really cool. Yeah,
So got to meet a bunch of them, yeah, all good.
That's
all
good. A guy
so.
needs to get out every once in a while, get off the hill, huh?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's more to this world than fighting with the little politicians in Custer County.
You know that's right.
Shit, man. I mean, I love it or whatever. Don't get me wrong, but at times I have to ask myself, why are you doing this?
Well, that's exactly. I question it myself too. But if we don't do it, we the people are failing dramatically. I mean, just look at what's going on in the federal, what the feds are doing.
Well, and so we can talk about that. Did you see what they said about the NSA?
No.
I hate to even bring it up. It's so gross.
I've been, my computer and phone and everything's been down for a few days. So, yeah, I kind of been out of the loop and a lot of work going on, and the weather's been pretty good. So, yeah, I've been hammering down. So
Good. Yeah, that the NSA, of course, DOGE went in and audited the NSA, but I mean, that's nothing but child pornography, sexual fetish, and just satanic behavior of epic proportions. I mean, the grossest. I mean, you can't imagine how gross some of that stuff is. I mean,
we're in that time.
Defecation on each other, and
well, you got to look at too. I mean, it's rampant. Probably not to the degree that it is at that stage. I mean,
and so let's calculate that back to. You're gonna take my frickin' tax dollars and you're gonna fucking child pornography on the NSA computers, folks.
I mean, where is the governance at on any of this? Where is the House and the Senate, the people that are there that we elect to go represent us? What are they doing?
They're all paid off. That's the thing. I mean, so I was listening to a couple Trump things talking about how how great we were in the 1880s and 1890s. We were as rich then as we've ever been. They were creating committees, how they were going to spend money. They had so much money.
Well, and that's where we're at now. We just spend way too much, and they consume too much, and then they overspend.
Back then,
it's debt.
Back then, we had the money to spend.
Yeah, we were positive. It wasn't a debt society.
No, it was
Now
like
it's a debt society.
and it's like, why couldn't we have just like,
stayed that way?
yeah, try to keep some of that in reserve?
Well, you little common sense. That's what I don't understand. How have we gotten so far off track? Who planted the seed to do government business this way? Who got it contorted? How did we get away from that 1890? Where do we go?
Well, part of that happened
Bankers?
in 1913 when the Federal Reserve came in.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And that's back to, folks, most people don't understand, or there's nobody alive today, unless you look on the Social Security rolls. I don't know if anybody's seen that, but they got somebody in there, been paying somebody that's 340-some years old, and the country's only 240-some years old.
We got here early. That got here a little early. Must be Indian. I don't know. Oh, Lord.
I mean, it's almost hard for me to...
Oh, it is. It's so bizarre.
To keep after it. I mean, it's... After I heard what they're talking about with the NSA,
Sky's the limit, man.
how them people are not hung is beyond me.
That's where I'm going with this, is if there are not consequences that match the crime, or that match what they've done, or at least a great big brand on their forehead, something of that nature where they need to have a penalty harsh enough to speak to the rest of the people. If you're going to come up in here, it ain't happening no mo. And this is what happens. Just like the credit card thing here at the county. I mean, hurry up, bid it before it's all gone. Oh, you're supposed to keep track, but you don't keep track? The same stuff right here. Then that's where I'll stop it at that. I don't know how, where they're at completely, but...
it's just, there. I mean, we'll just get right to the nut cutting too with the county attorney. I just read in the paper how now the paper, the Sentinel, says, oh, he's the best attorney ever. Like, really? The son of a gun. The problem is, folks, is that he's sleeping with the people that he's working with. Now, I don't know if y'all know that or not. They say, well, they got HR problems. The problem is that he can't keep his tallywhacker in his pants. And so he can't do the sheriff. He can't represent the sheriff because he's compromised because he can't keep his tallywhacker in his pants. And now they're saying, well, no, it's fine. Now I don't work for HR anymore, but I can still work for the county, and I can do a good job. Like, really, man? You're married, and you're sleeping with the help. And you think it's okay. And Lucas, you think that it's okay because now it's a bipartisan decision. Really?
Well, he's really good attorney.
Man,
I was there at that meeting.
I'm so disgusted with the people that are representing me in this whole country that it's beyond. I'm sick to my stomach.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where most of us are at.
Oh, well, it's okay because now we have a bipartisan decision. Really? Was it bipartisan when you pulled your pants down and started bunking one of the other people in HR? Come on, man.
I mean, to me, I think first and foremost, they should have taken that to the bar. They should have taken it, said, look, this guy has a license and this is his behavior. They should have done it. Should have been fired immediately. But here's where
so we fired him, but now he's back in there because Lucas wants him in there.
Well, it sounds like he's the only one that can do anything. I mean, you would have thought that other
pull up to the slop trough's about all he could get done.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, it was absolutely. They were saying, okay, we're hiring a new attorney today here. We're looking at the contract. And I think the three of them were in accord. There was a little few things they needed to figure out on the contract for the new attorney. And it was all good. And then they asked the attorney, Dan Slater, Dan, well, what do you think? Dan, what do you think? Whoa, Lord if you got a chance, you got to see it on the minutes. Because it's recorded, it's audio and video. It was a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, I don't remember. I got it wrote down in the book. The funny thing about it is, he made her sound like an ambulance chaser. I mean, he completely said, she can't do none of anything that I do. There's hardly anybody anywhere that can do what I do. No one can do what I do at this price.
Yeah, pull your pants down and start bonking the help, man.
So at the end of the day, the three of them kind of melted in their chairs after his 15-minute tear her down and lift himself up. And I really wanted to say something, but I'm supposed to be being behaved. So that's where I'm trying to be. It's tough. But at the end of the day, that's how it went down. And it's on the minutes of the meeting.
So, I mean, and I mean, I'm just at a loss, right? Like, there's no law left. Why do we need an attorney? You don't follow the law. You're married, I guess. I mean, that's from what I hear, that the gentleman's married, but you're sleeping with the help.
It wouldn't even matter. If you're a professional contracted attorney working for Custer County, you don't go in and have any kind of affair with your employees, the people, and your coworkers.
And how much did it cost us to get an attorney to defend Rich Smith because Slater couldn't do it because he's compromised?
Yeah.
So they're talking about, well, I do it cheaper or whatever. Well, by the time you add the 18, 20 grand on or whatever for Rich's attorney.
Oh, and not to mention, he was absolutely 100% responsible for Braden Wilson walking out that door with that 50 grand. He endorsed him. He was in the executive meeting. He never even shut him down. He encouraged him. His thing, when I was there and I hit him up, I said, you're not following the law. And Dan Slater said, you're going to have to make him shut up. Because I was pointing right at him. I was like, no, you're not following the law, man. The law doesn't let you do this. You have to follow a procedure. He is directly responsible for that happening.
But now it's fine. We're patty cakes. The paper thinks he's fine. Lucas thinks he's fine. Vogelsong thinks he's fine.
Everything is okay. Where's that puppet?
Where's the rest of the crew?
We're going to need more puppets. Yeah, so at the end of the day, I asked people last week to give us a name for the puppet. I don't know if anybody came up with one yet or not, but anyways, the commissioners, everything is okay. It's all okay. It's all peachy and creamy.
We don't have to keep our business in our pants or whatever. That's all. That doesn't matter. Hell, just look at what the NSA's doing.
You would think it was a bunch of liberals.
So much for solutions. Tonight we don't have much for solutions. It's just, man, I mean, like getting hit by a runaway train, man. Like what? I feel less. I feel less. I can't think of the right word there.
Inspired?
Well, represented. I feel
represented?
I feel less represented now than I ever have before. The people that are representing in my behalf, I mean, I don't.
And that's where the standards of ethics, the standards of bookkeeping, the standards, all these different standards, you'd think there was a group of liberals running that were all in there.
They are.
They're just a bunch of liberals.
They are.
Exactly.
That's what a rhino, Republican in name only.
Because that kind of behavior and putting up with, I mean, just the bookkeeping thing by itself is so unreasonable. It's completely
Well,
bizarre.
the
promotion.
We know what's going on here, folks. It's just why are all the Democrats squeaking so hard at the upper level? Because they know they're guilty and they're getting exposed. That's why they refuse to let us look at the books here, because they'll all be exposed. And they're just damn near there as it is. They're barely able to maintain.
Yeah, it's all coming around. And I'm seeing they've got a bunch of IT expenses. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff that I had no idea. I thought we were handling most of all this stuff in-house. But no, you start looking at this expense sheet here, $666,000. That number just suits them. It just does. But yeah, there's a whole bunch in here in the Wet Mountain Trib. Old Jordy's, he's got the publications, and all that stuff. So he publishes, I think it comes out once a month.
Yeah,
and man,
the budget or the expense.
Yeah, I went over this a little bit. Hopefully, you individuals out there will take a little bit of time and look at it, because there's a whole bunch going on there. There was something in here about the coffee reimbursement, $3,800 and some dollars for. And that's a couple of them, just right here. Coffee reimbursement. So I'm not going to scour down through all that. People need to seek it out. It's unbelievable, Stephen.
Well, and that's the thing, is it? I mean, I'm back to where we started. Does anybody even give a shit? Does anybody out there even care? Because it sure as hell don't seem like it.
Well, the thing is, we feel helpless. We see all this help happening. What can you do? What can you do? So the podcast is created, and we want to be the voice of the constituents to hold the elected officials and the employees that are hired by our tax money.
Well,
keep them honest, upright, and they're by rights. If they see something going awry, they need to go to the authorities and say, "Wait a minute, this doesn't look right."
I will give Bill Candid the benefit of the doubt that. I hung with him this whole time and defended him. But, Bill, just in case you're watching this, 90% of the people that I talked to said that you wouldn't come on and that you'll never come on, just so you know. Nobody believes in you anymore, man.
Those are pretty tough words coming from Steve Rourke, I'll just tell you.
Like I said, I defended you all the way down the line. I came back from the business that I had to attend to with professionals to come back to take care of this, and here we are, and Bill, you're not here. And everybody told me he's gonna cut and run. He'll never come on this podcast. And I said, well, I can't say. All I know is that we have an appointment, and it's for Wednesday the 26th. And I mean, what else can I do but be a gracious soul and have faith in someone, but the proof's in the pudding.
So I'm at the commissioner meeting here a few weeks ago, and the first thing right out of the gate, they're saying, look, and I put in some I put down on the agenda items that I wanted to speak about. I wanted to get them on the minutes. I wanted to have some interaction with the commissioners and my concerns as a constituent, as a taxpayer. You said we can put this on the agenda and then we'll talk about them. Well, right out of the gate, we're not talking about any more of this stuff. You can't do any of that. No more. We're tired of Jimmy coming in here and asking us questions. And it was about the Justice Center. I couldn't get the only thing we could get, we tried to get the information on a $20 million development here in Custer County. The only thing we could get was that lease. And then, all of a sudden, we got the master plan.
Finally.
Lucas was down when I called him. How funny this is. I'm down here in the basement. I just ran across it just minutes ago. I said, well, maybe take that up to Kelly so that with the $20 million development that we got, the $20 million bucks, maybe we'll have a little bit of file on it. Some kind of paperwork on it.
Oh, yeah, because it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. Where's all the polling reports? Where's the $10,000 they spent here? Where's the $10,000 they spent there to try to talk all you people into it? I mean, they have been raking us over the coals, thinking we're a bunch of dumbos, and obviously we are. I mean, the only thing that we did was show up to the poll and vote no. Otherwise, we haven't done shit.
Well, and that's kind of where we've got to get involved. These people are...
And that's what I'm saying. Does anybody out there even care? Because if y'all don't care, like I said, I stopped what I was doing.
Yeah, you come home early.
I cut and run so I could get back to do this interview with Bill Kanda right here. Right?
He's not here, is he? Nope. He's not there.
I mean, I'm backstage. I'm back in the bowels of this stadium in all the family rooms with all the women's professional basketball players from all over the country. Some of the best players in the whole league. And I cut and run from doing that to come back here to this. So, like, does anybody even care?
Hopefully they'll start showing up.
Man, because I can't see. I mean, got kudos to Joy Anderson. She's a trooper. Lena Rigo. I mean, there's a few of us here, but boy,
there's a handful of people, and here again, it does come down to that 1%. But
a lot of the people that could make a difference. I mean, if I'm wrong, prove me wrong, but I literally just don't think that people are. They can't be bothered, right? They can't be bothered. Life is too good. They're doing too good. We don't care if Bill Kanda railroads this thing, Ann Barthrop railroads this thing with this Justice Center, tries to tell us how we got a bargain on a piece of ground that you paid 5 times more than what it was valued at. There is no appraisal. There's no paperwork. There isn't shit. Plus, you trying to tell everybody it was donated. Bill Kanda just got done telling the people last week or the week before at the sheriff's thing that it was donated again. Really?
Well, where's that 50 grand?
But Pinocchio.
So there's a lot of suspicious behavior.
Well, it's far beyond suspicious now. It's just blatant.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. They don't care. Nobody cares, right? Nobody gives a shit. They just don't care. And I mean, so you can understand why I'm a little irritated, right, with this whole scenario and the people involved, because, I mean, I sure hope somebody proves me wrong and says, well, we do care. And I know there's people, I shouldn't be so hasty, but I mean, I know there's people out there that care, but when I stopped doing what I'm doing, and it was a major important thing. I mean, that's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to be in a situation like that, to cut and run so I can come back here to this empty chair right here. Should have made Jimmy handle it for 2 weeks in a row.
And I would have. I was happy that you were able to get out of here and go down there. I was kind of living through you. I was like, woo, at least somebody got out of here for a minute. Not that I don't love it here. If I never left I could stay here.
I don't need to go anywhere. I went 4,200 miles in 6 days.
Not on an airplane?
Not on an airplane.
That was... Yeah, that's
so,
I
mean, you can understand my frustration, folks. I mean, are we going to gang up and are we going to try to keep, are we going to try to get a shred of humanity and are we going to get back to where we need to be? Are we just going to give up and throw our hands in the air? Because I'm not going to fight this on my own, right? If nobody else, I've been telling you all that from the very start. If nobody else cares, nobody cares less than me. They just don't. You think I need this?
The only thing I do have skin in the game. I don't want to wake up.
Well, we all got skin in the game, but shit, if nobody else cares, at some point, I mean, I can't play the whole team by myself. That's the thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And we all got skin in the game, but whether we realize it or not, that's the question.
Well, and here again, we're looking at what's going on at the federal level. I mean, what's going on at the state level? I mean, there's a bunch going on there.
I seen DeSantis. He says we're getting D.O.G.E.
Yeah,
Florida's going to go for it.
So absolutely,
as they should.
Absolutely. So we've got a group of people here. I mean,
Here, let me see that.
this is compliments of George Gramlich from.
Somebody sneaking around here, that'd be me. I'll do whatever I want. I'll buy the ground. I'll tell you that it got donated. We'll spend a bunch of your money and tell you we didn't spend it. We'll just do whatever we want. It don't care what you voted. We'll do whatever we want. Who the hell do you think you are? You're just some stupid ass voter. You ain't shit. I got your money. You don't have your money no more. I got it, and I'll spend it how I want.
Exactly. And not account, not account for it. And just not. So Jordan sent us those, what was it, 5 different articles?
Yeah.
I got them, but my computer is done for a minute.
So I read them. I mean, we were looking for an actual account where they said that they donated that ground, but I didn't catch that. But Bill Kanda is on record at the sheriff's meeting here, 2 weeks ago. He's on record, on tape, on recording, saying that they donated the ground. And so, I mean, you can try to play around. I mean, let's dig to the bottom of it, folks. We've already dug here 100 times. The shovel is dull and wore out, but we can sharpen it again. I mean, let's go get an excavator. We'll get a track hoe and dig down in here. What did they do? Chet Hagen Trust says we want $3 a foot, but we'll donate a foot. We'll donate $1 a square foot so that we don't have to pay tax. And so the whole time, we don't own the ground. Chet Hagen Trust is getting the tax break of $250,000, plus they don't pay the property tax. The guy's a convicted felon for fraud, and we're doing business with him? And this is Ann Barthrup's deal?
And I've got 2 stories. I got one, Ann said she did all the negotiations. Where are the minutes of those meetings? Where is the contracts? Where is the
And where's the
appraisals? I haven't.
Yeah,
I saw one appraisal, and the appraisal was from a system that is designed for county assessors.
Well, that's
the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life.
That is the only appraisal. That's what I've been saying. The appraisal is from the certified 2018 certified county appraisal. It's from the assayer's office. Is where that appraisal is at, $129,000.
Yeah. So anyways, it's just a lot of crazy that's going on.
I mean, let's get right into it. Cindy Howard offered she offered the ground. She had a bunch of extra ground that tried to sell it to him cheaper, like $100,000 for 12 acres or something. I mean, I don't know the exacts. They're like, no, we can't do that. Hell no.
Well, and it was further away from the school. Because that was one of the concerns.
Well, it is a little farther away from the school.
They want it further away from the school. That's one of the things, is get it away from the school. You don't want a territorial prison next door to the school.
Oh, but they do. Obviously, they do.
It was cheaper and more land, and it was further from the school.
And like Joy's article says in the paper, it says that they already said they had enough land. They didn't need the land.
It's crazy behavior. And then that poll that
back to basics. Why would they do that? Because the only reason that makes any sense is they're getting their palms greased. They're getting paid. And did you get paid? Bill, did you get paid? That's a question everybody wants to know, and we don't have anybody sitting here to answer it. So you can understand our frustration. And you can't just keep putting us off because we're just going to get a little louder and a little louder.
Yep, that's exactly what's going to happen.
I mean, you can't punk us, right? You've been punking everybody else, but you ain't going to punk us.
Nope, ain't punking us. Yeah, so it's getting down and dirty. Push is coming to shove. Because there's a lot of unanswered questions. There's a lot of suspicious behavior that needs to be unfolded. And then Bill said, "Oh, I've got all that paperwork on my computer on my home office." Well, why doesn't Kelly have it? How come Kelly don't have it? Billy Bob?
And why is it a bunch of it at Ann's house? Why is a bunch of it at Shannon's house?
Yeah, it's spread all over the
floor. Well, we can't really get that together. It's over here and over there. And hell,
here we go.
You little pissant people don't need to hear shit. We're the boss over here. We got your money and we'll spend it however we want. You don't matter. Your vote don't count. All that matters is we got your money and we're going to spend it however we want on our adulterated attorney here.
Yeah, that's another funny part about all of it.
Oh, but it's fine. He's the greatest attorney. He's doing a great job. Really? Great job. You can't even keep your pants on, man. What the frick?
Yep. Yeah, there's lists and lists and lists of stuff that is just unreasonable behavior here. And we could harp on it all night.
Yeah, like I said, I'm sorry that usually this is a solutions-based deal, but...
So it is, but every once in a while you kind of got to let it out.
And so I don't know what the solution is, right?
Well...
I mean, part of the solution was, Bill, why do they want the Justice Center? Well... That's probably because we got paid. I mean, like, what other question can you honestly answer? I was reading one of the things from the committee that wrote, it's so biased. I mean, listen to this. We already all know, right, that you can write it and try to manipulate it and make it however you want. They're trying to say, well, it's mandated and we're out of compliance and then it's the safety. Really, you're going to put a territorial prison right next to the school and you're going to say something about safety? And you got 2 to 3 inmates. Boy. Oh, the elevator's going to cost so much to put in. Let's spend $30 million on a whole new building. Like, whatever y'all are smoking, you need to be selling that shit, not smoking it.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
God.
Well, it's pretty crazy. And I watched that bookkeeping department thing. I watched old Braden Wilson. Month after month, oh yeah, the conversion on the software is going well, and this is going good, and we're going to have to work on this a little bit. And then the auditor, Mr. DiNardo, God, I have no idea, Mr. DiNardo, but it looks to me like you got your hands full trying to make some kinds of heads or tail of all that stuff. And they said they're going to have to keep you in there another year, because they ain't got it straightened out yet. But at the first of the year, Vern came in there and said, man, we got her done now. Looky here. And there's one resolution after the next after we got to take money from here and money from there. Typically, you set a budget, and you need to kind of stay inside that budget.
Shit.
But that kind of behavior is just...
Been saying it, say it again, continue to say it. What's the main reason, folks, why people can't get along is because of the way that money is spent. You got people that think that there's plenty of money. We don't need to be conservative. We don't need to be fiduciarily responsible. We don't need to be responsible at all. We can just get more and more and more. I bet all them people's been thinking that for the last 20 years. Boy, Elon, he's putting a crimp on their shit.
Put a little kibosh on them. I got a little sun today. I was out in the sun, and it was pretty... I was facing south quite a bit.
This is a reason for the new Justice Center. This is out of the Tribune on Thursday, May 6, 2021. Editor. This is from George Veltman, Stephen Bauer, and Ann Barthrop. As a member of the Custer County Citizens Committee, we were asked to help evaluate the need to upgrade the present court and sheriff facilities. The group would like the citizens of the county to know a brief history and our view of what the committee has accomplished. Our first meeting was in 2018 to discuss the needs and options available. The sheriff's office, court officials, and the commissioners gathered approximately 15 local citizens to help them decide the best course of action in this project. This is probably how government projects should be run.
Yeah, okay. It was a varied group with different backgrounds and plenty of skepticism. No, it ain't no skepticism. If there was plenty of skepticism, y'all wouldn't have pulled the bullshit you pulled and spent all our money blindly like that.
Bought the land before they even got the thing approved.
Bought the land when people was trying to give you land, or give you.
Yep.
You could have paid for that land in 1 year. Not now. We're still going to be paying for it for another 5-6 years.
Pretty crazy.
Once the sheriff office and the court presented to us the problems they faced, it was obvious that something needed to be done. So see, this is the problem, folks, that they're pulling the wool over your eyes. Nobody really knows what the problems are, especially the people on this committee. I guarantee you they don't know shit. All they want is money. When you look through here, you look through this architectural plan at what they wrote in there, what's the main thing wrong with the jail? Oh, the cooking facilities are not up to speed. Really? Like the main thing that's the matter with the courthouse is the elevator? But let's spend $30 million. Right? So it's like they're not realistic with, and they're basically just bald-faced liars. It's ulterior motives. They have their ulterior motive trying to pull the wool over our eyes, saying how good this is. Well, if it's so good, where's all the receipts and the paperwork and
Where's it at? Where's all the committee and the minutes and how much money was spent from the grant? It's all spread out around.
Where's somebody to sit in this chair right here
and
to answer some questions?
And one of the things that's irritating, I went to the instead of going to the R2 group, which is the resilient group, just teaching us how to, if there's a whoopsie daisy, how to get along. But I went to the what's that thing? Oh, Liberty Rocks. Liberty Rocks. I went to that instead. And it was the 3 commissioners, and it was all about transparency. Transparency night with the commissioners. I'd never seen such a joke in my life. So here's Kidwell. She's reading the little questions. To me, it should just be an open. Let's get down to the nut cutting here, and let's talk about it if we're going to be transparent. I didn't get any questions in. I didn't know anybody else there that was intimate with the county goings on that I've been witnessing the last 8 years. So here again, bunch of little softball questions, bunch of little patting on the back. That's the Republican Party up here. That is just, and there was no debate last year. That's the kind of stuff that keeps people out of the Republican Party.
We're talking about the debate. We're talking about the debate between Lucas Epp and Vicki Nicholson that was running against him. And the Republican committee, basically Lisa Kidwell was one of the main people involved in that, said, no, we're not going to do it.
Shut it down. So here again, it's the cabal outside. You got an interior cabal and then you got the outside cabal. And they're kind of meshed. They're kind of...
So let's go on here a little bit. Once the SO and the sheriff's office and the court had presented us the problems they faced, it was obvious that something has to be done.
Oh, it's obvious.
We need to get a bunch of money in our pocket is the only thing that's obvious. And one of these other letters proceeds to go on to say the only people that are going to benefit are the people that are the county officials and the people building the Justice Center. Nobody else is going to benefit from this, folks.
4 nurses. Mandatory to have 4 nurses over there. And you think, oh, it's a moneymaker, Jimmy. This thing, we're going to make money housing prisoners. No, you're not. No, you're not. You could bullshit a lot of people, but you ain't going to bullshit me. Just the nurses alone to staff the thing would eat us alive.
So that was all in one of them things, and we'll make sure all these letters get posted to the website so you can check it out.
It's crazy time.
Obviously,
Obviously, something has to be done.
Very obvious.
It's obvious.
Jesus.
Well, we got to laugh at it.
The problems they faced, and it was obvious that something needed to be done, and it wasn't a simple fix. Really? Upgrading the cooking facilities at the jail is not a simple fix? I mean, come on, folks. The problem being the sheriff's office, jail, and the court cannot be safely run nor comply with many of the state and federal mandates in their present state. And see, that's bullshit, because nobody can even say what it is. They just want to blow hot air up your skirt. There ain't one person can tell us what the hell, how we're out of compliance. The only thing that the architectural people said is that basically the kitchen in the elevator? I mean, I know there's a couple other little things or whatever, but like, so throw $100,000 at it, right? And we'll be there instead of $30 million. Oh, well, that doesn't pad everybody's pocket. And I mean,
that's why I'm saying, why would you go ahead and jump the gun, commit to this interest?
Because somebody got paid. Somebody got paid. Somebody got paid.
Well, and then the naming rights of the building goes to the Hagas. The Haga could name it Haga Justice Center. Who knows? There's a lot to it. What's the value of somebody's name going on the building? Where was the negotiations of any of this? Where is that? Is there a recorded executive meeting that would be very important to have? And it shouldn't even been an executive meeting. It should just have been, we're doing the public's business.
so this goes on to say options include remodel, new construction, or a combination of the two. This decision was difficult and not decided overnight. A new justice center, which would be a completely new building, was what we all decided was the best solution.
What we decided.
Ain't your money no more, folks. We got it. It's in our till. We're going to spend it how we want. You don't mean shit. What you say don't matter. You voted it down and we're still doing it.
We're going to do it no matter what.
We're going to do it no matter what.
Yep.
Probably because your ass is in the sling.
Well, buying the land, and here we are, it didn't even buy it. It's a lease. It's almost like buy here, pay here. It's almost like when you buy your first car or something and you're getting your credit established.
Well, and we talked
buy
about
here, pay here.
It's a lease. It's a lease
with interest.
Yeah. Who out here has ever done a lease that had interest on it?
Oh, what I was going to say too about the meeting at Liberty Rocks. Bob Senderhoff, all the information I was trying to get, you know, I've been waiting on it and looking for it, and Bill kept saying, well, we're going to send her to you, boy, yeah. Bob Senderhoff apparently just had a whole bunch of it right there at his fingertips. Bob Senderhoff come right in and kind of just smoothed the whole thing over, dampened it down, quieted it down. That was, to me, damage control. That's all that was damage control. Here I'm a Republican looking at these Republicans going, what is going on here? What really is taking place here? Where Bob Senderhoff is coming in here and he's telling me all the stuff I've been trying to get, and he has it. He's got a bunch of it. And it don't sound even close to where it was supposed to go. So that's some funny stuff.
And here's one of the strange things, and I mean, it's all open forum by now, but at the last CCRCC meeting, I was telling Bob, I said, Bob, did you hear what Bill said at that thing that the ground was donated? He said, well, I don't know. I said, you've never seen the lease? Here, let me send that to you. So how in the hell did he not have the lease, but now he's got all this stuff?
Here again, that's what I'm saying. Why did they bring him in there to be the face guy? Just to shut Jimmy down? So I couldn't get my questions answered? So they schmoozed the whole Justice Center right out of the gate, and then they had these little 3x5 cards. Here's a question for you guys. Ready? Ready or not? It's the one I gave you yesterday. Hopefully you practiced. It almost looked like Kamala Harris time.
Next, we had to figure out how to accomplish this major project and obviously how much it would cost. Over the next year, thorough research and contacting other counties with similar problems, we developed a plan. That plan, I talked to, what's the gentleman's name? Page?
Something, yeah. He's in there.
Mr. Phillips. one of the gentlemen, and he was kind enough to call me back, and everything was great. But he was proceeding on telling me about some of these other counties, and what happens is he'll tell them, said, you guys are getting too big for your boots here. And I think it was Conejos County. They're like, no, just go ahead. And he's like, you can't afford it. So then what they do, they wasted all the money between and then couldn't afford the Justice Center, just like what they're doing now. And so what did they do? They've built us a Justice Center. We talked about this before, folks. They built us a Justice Center that is equal to Alamosa, Rio Grande County. Okay, Alamosa, the town, if I remember right, is, I can't remember exactly, either 7,000 or 9,000 in the town, and the county has 16,000 and some. So they're almost 4 times bigger.
It's a college town, isn't it?
Yeah, Adams State College, yeah. So Alamosa, the Justice Center they put in, that's what Custer County is trying to get here, and they're 4 times bigger than we are. They got 4 times the revenue, all of that. So, like, WTF, folks.
It's kind of crazy that this kind of behavior took place.
And here's the other thing, too. Then, using the grants, we contacted firms with familiar projects like this to help finalize the plan. At the same time, Custer County was fortunate to obtain land near the present county building suitable for the proposed Justice Center.
That's as much information that I've seen on it. So read that last sentence again there.
At the same time, Custer County was fortunate to obtain land near the present county building suitable for the proposed Justice Center. When
we were fortunate enough to stumble across this piece of property and
some,
pay 5 times the amount that we're supposed to, and it's a lease, and we got no paperwork on the discussion of how it came to be.
No, and you can't use it for anything. You can't sell it. You can't rent it. You can only use it for government buildings.
And yeah.
Who in the frick negotiated that? I mean, I knew Mr. Clint Smith, and I appreciate for what little bit I knew him or whatever. But for him, I mean, I don't know if you can hear me in your grave or not, Clint, but that's bullshit!
Well, that's where I'm saying it looks to me like there's some funny stuff that took place here. And then Bill says he negotiated it. Then Ann says she negotiated it. So something's going on here. Funny stuff.
Somebody's getting paid, because why else would they give 5 times the amount of ground? And after the people still are saying, no, we don't want it, they're still doing it. So, like, are y'all hemmed up? Ann, are you and Bill hemmed up with the Chet Haga Trust there? Did you say and go ahead and do something a little bit bigger than what your britches would carry you? You let your hummingbird ass get overrode by your pelican mouth there, or what? Because we said we didn't want it, but you're still doing it. And you can't give us this bullshit that it's a mandate, because we know better than that. We've already went over the law. We know what the laws are. And we have a year to get compliant after they tell us when it happens. And I guarantee you, everybody that's trying to say this, Shannon, Byerly, everybody's trying to say this, all they're doing is blowing hot air up our skirt. There ain't that much wrong with what we got, especially if they're taking them to Florence. All the whole 3 inmates we got.
Suspicious.
Kind of making my head hurt, but
all the way around the block is just kind of crazy kind of behavior, and it needs to be exposed. It needs to be investigated.
The firms and the state officials helped us develop a possible solution to the county's problems. Through this process, our citizens group participated in assessing the needs, formulating plans, and assisting and selecting firms to assist the county. No member of the committee pushed for a Cadillac model. Oh, really? You're trying to tell me that the sheriff's offices, and it's right here, folks, right here in here, the sheriff's office, I don't know which page it is, it's $2.3 million just for the sheriff's office alone.
Yeah.
Why does the sheriff and a couple of his deputies need $2.3 million worth of offices? There is no part of that adds up for a county of 4,700 people.
I mean, we may as well move to Russia. Or China, I guess. Russia's probably more American than where America is right now. They're just getting so much taxes, it's like, hurry up and spend it before it's all gone. And more government, and more government, and more government.
No member of the committee. Here, let me get my...
really wanted to push for a Cadillac, we went with the Chevy.
We went with the little moped. We had to go with the moped.
So that's where I was going, folks, before I started into that, was what they're trying to do is blow hot air up your skirt and say, oh, we did this and we did that and we spent so much time and we worked so hard to prove that we really need this.
Gotta have it.
Well, I mean, we need it bad.
No, we gotta have it.
There's people's safeties are at stake with our 3 prisoners.
Gotta have it.
We need a $40 million justice center.
Well, I mean, it was $18 million, $30 million bond. Now it's probably 50.
So the big plan there is low-income housing, bring in a whole bunch of them Denver immigrants. Well, the crime rate would probably go up.
All I can say is that
cause a problem, solve the problem.
I'm so happy that the government shut off $3 trillion worth of grants to stop some of this shit.
Yeah, when the chaos, Matt and I say this all the time, the chaos will continue till the money runs out. Well, guess what? Money's running out. So
this is a massive undertaking that requires community support. Over the last 3 years, all of us feel we have given our best effort to help resolve this pressing issue. We encourage the community to get involved and informed about this project. Oh yeah? You want the community involved? Where's the paperwork? There's nothing! They've been lying and cheating and thieving the whole time!
Glasses. One ear. Dang it. Well, they have been. And we've got to bring them up. There has to be something we can do to get to the bottom of it. Bill keeps saying, I'm going to send you the paperwork. I'm going to send the paperwork. I'm going to send you. He's never sent me anything.
It's just like he told me, I'm going to be here, I'm going to be here, I'm going to be here. And I had once again, Bill, I talked to you today on the phone. Very respectful. I respect you as a person. It's all good. And I defended you again today when my dad said, well, I knew he wouldn't show up. I've had 15, 20, 30 people tell me he ain't going to show up. And I defended you. And I said, he said he would. And so I'm going to hold him at his word. I'm going to hold him at face value. He said he would be there. And this is where he's at. So there you go, Bill. You ain't holding true to your word. You haven't held true to your word with the public for a long time by now. I sat right at one of the CCRC meetings and I stood right there and listened to you tell Lynn Arrigo how you were still going to get him in to look at the books.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They don't want anybody in there to look at the books.
That's called lying.
That's
what you call a frickin' lie, man.
Not in their realm.
Boy, I did. I blew the arm right off my glasses.
You got the one arm pair. You'll be all right.
Now I match the county.
Yeah. Come with that puppy
crooked
down
and
there.
cocked. Frickin' bullshit. The best sources for information are any of the Custer County Commissioners and the Custer County Justice Center Committee on Facebook. So when it proceeds to go through there, so right when the things were really getting going good, they dissolved that whole committee. Joey talked about that in her article when they dissolved the committee.
And I watched on the committee thing on YouTube. And it was after Lucas was already a commissioner. And they said that they'd resolved it way before Lucas got in there, remember? And here Lucas and Ann and Bill, I think the FBI guy was in on it. This guy, Page guy, was in on it. So who are those people? What are they doing? Having a YouTube meeting? What's going on there? If it's been disbanded, I don't get it. And the sheriff was in on it too. Rich Smith knew about it. He was involved in that conversation. And it's audio and video.
Yeah, we listed that.
Yeah. So anyways, we're not saying that we're not making this stuff up. Hollywood couldn't make this stuff up.
No, it's what needs to happen here, folks, is the D.O.G.E needs to come in here, but Lucas, Bill, and I don't know about Paul, but obviously when we needed him to stand up about the attorney, he wouldn't. I mean, I'm completely, I mean, I don't know the attorney, and quite frankly, I don't want to know the attorney. But it's the principality, right? You can't sleep with the help and still expect to do your job. And especially, dang, dude, you're supposed to be the attorney. Like, a little bit of couth? Oh, hell, what's couth? Disgusting. I mean, and after I heard what they were doing at the NSA with all these sexual fetishes, I mean, that's all I'm going to say. But, like, it was so gross that, I mean, I almost threw up in my mouth. And I got a pretty good stomach.
Well, and I'm sure...
And that's what's on my government's computer. My. Belongs to me. Absolutely. This is my country. You're working for me. You're representing me, folks. These elected officials represent us. And for them to act like that is so disrespectful. I mean, I'm at a loss of words, right? I mean, it was super bad, but when I heard that stuff about the NSA, I mean, like I said, I threw up in my mouth.
Yeah, I just now heard about that, but nothing surprises me anymore. We've got a pretty good report from start to finish, and it covers the county manager debacle.
Is that Mr. Arrigo's report?
It goes all through that. It talks about the...
Kudos, Lenny. We didn't mean to...
Yeah, no, Lenny, we love you, brother. You're awesome. The county audit issues. I mean, and this is quite extensive.
So I don't know how we can do that, but we need to get that on the website. This is Lynn's extrapolation of what has happened over the last 2 to 3 years.
This is issues identified with the Custer County government. I mean,
and that's the thing. I mean, if they would have kept the book straight, right? If the money was straight,
we'd be all right.
We wouldn't really care about all this stuff. I mean, hopefully you don't have child pornography. Hopefully the commissioners don't have anything like that, like the NSA does, right? I mean, that's all I can hope.
Yeah, we're just going to have to find a happy place there and get rest there. Because accounting and finance operation issues, this is a very, very detailed report. Criminal Justice Center, that goes into a pretty good, really good take. And then there's other issues of concern. So between this and some laws that are on the books, and some other things that have been listed, it's a pretty good nest of a lot of suspicious behavior. And why would they make decisions that they did? Why have we spent several $100,000? And then that last debacle, what was it, 60 grand we had to pay for the taser incident?
Oh, I'm not sure about that, but...
Yeah, so we just had to pay another big old chunk
Yeah,
of money.
because Shannon says that's standard operating procedure to tase a minor while she's handcuffed in the back of a car. Bunch of... No offense, but that... But and then you wonder why people want to defund the police.
Well, and at the point that took place, there's no way that that's a standard operating procedure.
Of course
All
it
that was a wording in legality to try to cover the cops that were involved.
It's nothing.
And as soon as you breach
everything that these folks are doing at the county level is nothing but a cover up because they're acting illegitimate. They do not have our best interest in mind.
I think some of it's stupidity.
We have your money, and that's all we care about. We're going to spend it however we want. We don't care what you think. We damn sure don't care what you say. What's Kevin Day tell Jimmy? I don't represent your kind.
Yeah, I don't represent my kind. Okay.
Well, I just said right in there, one of them. What's he do with the constituents in Wetmore? He calls them wet morons.
Yeah.
Really?
Wet morons.
I mean, back
and that's
back
coming
in
from that lunatic.
Back in the good old days, right? I mean, that's the problem. And
well, I totally agree with you. But
a good old pistol whipping would fix that shit.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, we got to be as civil as possible. There are tools that we can use. There is some laws that we can use. except it's kind of out of the realm. Usually you don't have to hold the government accountable, but we've got into this too much money, too much power, and the culture. People just don't have the salt and the uprightness that we used to have. Now we got a bunch of goofy people in there doing goofy stuff, protecting the employees over the constituents.
Well,
that's bizarre to me.
And I will say this, that I was pretty disappointed in the article in the Sentinel when it says that they thought the attorney was doing a pretty good job. I don't agree with that one bit.
And George he was an attorney, or was an attorney or whatever. I mean, looking at it from one point of the view, it's one thing. And if you'd have been at that meeting, boy, he's a hell of a salesman too. He's not only a lawyer, he's a salesman. He's a bullshitter. But for him to defame the other attorney the way he did that, I thought that was very disgraceful. And then the three commissioners that were hiring her apparently they didn't read the contract. Apparently they didn't talk to her, whatever. I'm not sure what they were doing. Were they hiring somebody that was just incompetent just to replace him?
Maybe she's got enough enough gumption to actually come on here.
I bet she does. And I need to call her back. My phone's been down, and I've been really, really, really busy. But she called me back, and I do want to start getting some kind of rapport with her. She does have an office up here, and she's got one, I think, on 16th or 17th Street in Denver. So she's no downstreamer. But he sounded like she was an ambulance chaser. He was the only one capable of doing what he had to do up here. What was Clint Smith doing? Was Clint Smith all that and a bag of chips too?
Clint Smith was a land use attorney.
But he was running the county. He was our attorney. Was there other attorneys that he was involved with?
I don't know about that.
That's what I'm saying. There's stuff that's not adding up here. If he is so great and wonderful.
Of course it ain't adding up. It says right in there, folks, that, I mean, they don't come out and tell you the issue that he was sleeping with the help, right? He's having sex with the help. That's the problem. Nobody wants to admit it or say it. The paper just beats around the bush, said, well, they had an altercation with the HR people like they were in a yelling match. No, hell no, he had his pants pulled down. Boinking this lady.
And she was the gal, the prime witness with the Jordan Benson thing. She was one of the people that was involved in that. So he couldn't even represent the sheriff because he had a conflict of interest because he was
sleeping with the key witness.
Man, I just can't even say it. I mean, it's so asinine. It's like, really? And he's still here? He's still here.
Lucas, you think he's greatest thing since sliced bread? Well, we need him. Boy, I'll bet there's quite a few people, Lucas, that are reevaluating voting for you, pal. I know I am.
We're going to be the recall capital of the world. We do them two at a time sometimes. We pair them up. We'll do three. We'll get three up in there and get two up.
Be like that one. There was a county back in the Midwest there somewhere. They recalled everybody. The clerk, the treasurer, the commissioners. They recalled them all.
All of them. And that may be what's going to take place here. This whole smorgasbord of bad decisions and can't get Gadsby straight. The auditor's got to charge us, instead of $15,000, he's got to charge us $100,000. That's some crazy stuff. And then we get a Band-Aid in here. Oh, we've got a licensed accountant in here now.
Yeah, so we're going to take the IT guy once again. I don't know Vern.
Here from the beginning.
I don't know Vern. But he was the IT guy when they instigated the CIC software.
For the accountant.
He couldn't figure it out then. Been here the whole time, couldn't figure it out, and now he is the finance director. You couldn't figure the shit out the whole time, and now you're in charge!
And the guy he was there with was Braden, that they were going to promote to the county manager.
Lucas, this is on you, bud.
Well, it's all on him.
You're the finance commissioner.
And that's one of the things that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Well, you got to stay in your lane. You got to stay in your lane. No, you don't. You're all responsible for all the money. you damn well better be checking the other guy's lane. You better be checking where the money's going.
Well,
just like all these people.
That's a Tom Flower deal there.
Well, it was contagious. That whole thing, that whole spirit of contamination that he brought, that pollen that was there is still there. It's still, they got to hide that. Something's got to be hidden there. Because remember all the COVID money. Remember all the crazy that was going on then. The sky was falling.
Yeah, and that's the problem, folks. Been the problem the whole time. I mean, the Justice Center is like the point of the pinprick, but the whole shaft of this whole thing was there's no accountability with the finance, and it has nothing to do with they're too dumb to figure it out, because it's, for Christ's sakes, it's addition and subtraction, right? There ain't even hardly multiplication or division in there, right?
There's no geometry. There's no trigonometry.
No, it's a pretty simple
It's
shit.
pretty much here's the budget, spend her wisely and keep track of it. This came in. This is what we're in charge of. This is what we spend it on.
Hell, and so now they're up there manufacturing credit card receipts. Like, is not forgery or fraud and all of that?
It's the most bizarre thing. Like I said, Hollywood could make this up.
We got your money and you can go to hell. We got your money and you can go to hell.
Well, it's the government.
They do not care one bit about you folks. And every second that you go by without saying something or getting your dander up and doing something about it, they're going to just keep taking the money, doo-dah, doo-dah. They're going to raise your taxes again, oh, da-doo-dah day.
Well, all the grant money that was coming down from topside, and I don't know what the financial state that the state of Colorado is in. I think that's a little bit on shaky ground now too. So all the money's drying up, and this is what we've been saying for the last 3 years. The chaos will continue until the money runs out. Well, they're having to get serious now. I told Lucas when he first got in there, I said, you're going to be firing people. You're going to have to downsize. This is all coming to a head.
What do you mean? What do you mean downsize? We're going to just work 3 days a week.
No, we're downsize our work week.
Yeah, we'll downsize our work week. We can work 2 days a week.
Yeah, that's right.
We'll get twice as many people and work 2 days a week.
That's right.
I mean, that's good math, right?
Well, it's pretty bizarre. Because that mentality, when it gets into the government like that, it doesn't fit me at all. To me, it's just got to be very straight, upright, narrow, and it's got to be black and white. There's no gray area. You're doing the public's business. You can't allow an employee to sit there and, oh, I could do it. Give me another chance. I know I could do it if you'll just give me another chance. I think I can do it. And it's been going on for 5 years. That's how crazy this is.
Just give me the money. Just give me the money. Just give me the money and you can go to hell.
And instead of putting a good, real, attractive advertisement for competent help, let's just say for the accountant position.
Well, and that's back to that same thing.
75,000 or 125,000. That's not even close. And I remember old Mr. Bill Candy. Well, they can't make more than me. They can't make more than me. Really, Bill? Why would you even say that? How could you say that? What would even cause you to say that? It's on the film. It's audio and videoed in the meeting. Right there. You can't get out of it. They can't make more than me. First off, you're overpaid by huge because of a state mandate or whatever, however that came to be. That's the stupidest thing that could ever happen. But at the end of the day, the mentality that is sitting in those seats are representing us, and the incompetence is at an all-time high. Go along, get along. Everybody needs a job. Don't rock the boat. Don't rock the boat. I know they haven't been able to do their job for years, and it's cost us tens and tens of thousands of dollars because the employee was inadequate. Well, that in itself is malfeasance. That in itself is bad voodoo.
Well, that's back to, let's get back to reality here.
They promoted the Hunger Buster guy. Promoted him to county manager. Couldn't even do the job he was hired to do. Had credit cards foot deep.
Just like what they do just now with Vern. Like I said,
Same pattern of behavior.
I don't know Vern, and I'm not trying to come at Vern personally, but what I am saying is if he was so smart and can handle finance, why didn't he do it from the start?
Exactly.
The IT guy takes care of the computing software, right?
We've got...
Oh, well, he can't figure it out. Well, no shit. And he still can't figure it out, and they're still doing the same thing as they was when it first showed up. Nothing.
They're band-aiding it, and with Lisa in there, they didn't go back and do a really good audit. With double entry bookkeeping, it has to balance. And you got to get back to where it balances. They said, no, we're not. Nuh-uh. We're going to start over about right here. We're going to try to do it right here, and then we're going to come forward. Well, I wasn't worried about coming forward because you already know the jig's up and we're watching you. I want to know what happened back here. What happened back here?
And that's why I still can't. I'm still flabbergasted, and I'm trying to figure it out. I mean, we got some ulterior people that maybe want to help and have some pretty deep pockets and or have maybe offered their attorneys up. So I'm like, why don't we get one of these high-powered attorneys to put in a CORA request for the financial records? Because, I mean, they just put us off like we ain't shit. But if you send a high-powered attorney up in the courthouse, I mean, the shit's about to get real, folks, one way or another.
It's fixing to go D.O.G.E.
Right? Because without the courts getting involved, they ain't going to do nothing. There's no penalty, and they damn sure they do not care.
So that's what we're doing.
We don't care about you. All we care about's we got the money.
And they don't think there'll be any consequences because we don't know we're their boss. We, the people, don't know they work for us.
It's just like Elizabeth Warren. She says right in there, well, the people of America don't have the right to know where their taxpayer money's going. Like you dizzy bitch. Haven't you ever read the Constitution?
Abomination said the same thing.
That's what Bill and Lucas are telling us. You little minions don't need to see where your money's going. We'll tell you how it's gonna go.
Well, the money's running out now, and they're squirming.
Money's running out. What are we gonna do? Raise their taxes?
They ain't raising mine, because I ain't paying it. Come get it. If you want it, come get it.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, when you force an animal into the corner,
look out.
Looky
out.
Well, with all that being said, you got anything else you want to bitch about, or?
I don't know if you want to read. This is one tool in the toolbox that I thought we might read this.
Well, I mean, we've read it before, but I'll read it again.
I don't know if we read this?
Yeah, we read this a lot. Violation is malfeasance or removal. A member of the governing body of any local government or any office, employee, or agent of any spending agency who knowingly or willingly fails to perform any of the duties imposed upon him by this Part 1, or who knowingly and willingly violates any of this provisions is guilty of malfeasance in office, and upon conviction thereof, the court shall enter a judgment that such officer so convicted shall remove from office. Now, here's the problem that I have with this, folks. To me, this doesn't mean shit, and this is why I don't personally feel that this has any teeth. When it goes on here to say, any elector of the local government may file an affidavit, that means any elector of the local government,
that's us.
Anybody can file an affidavit regarding suspected malfeasance with the district attorney, who shall investigate the allegations and prosecute the violation if sufficient cause is found. It is the duty of the court rendering any such judgment to cause immediate notice of such removal to be given to the proper officer of the local government so this vacancy may be filled. The problem with this is it's only a misdemeanor. No matter how bad it gets with malfeasance, it's still only a misdemeanor. So it's a little slap on the hand, right? That's why that one that we had, the breach of fiduciary duty, that's the one where you can actually end up in jail over the shit. You ain't going to jail over a misdemeanor.
You're right, but it graduates. It's kind of like, oh, I got a tail light out. I got pulled over with the tail light out. So the cop comes up there. Oh, you're drunk. You got fentanyl. You're sex trafficking. Well, that kind of graduated. That's what this is about. This is the door that you walk in.
That's if you can find somebody that actually wants to persecute.
That's going to be the trick.
Well, and that's the problem.
The Linda Stanley debacle.
If it's only a misdemeanor to start, they might not even tell you that they might not even have. I mean, what did they already tell us? We've already asked some of the district attorneys, the assistant district attorney, what they thought. And they're like, well, we don't really know. And it's like, it's not big enough fish for them to fry to spend a week to really investigate it.
Right. So that's kind of why we, the people, are.
That's why we're trying to make up get our own evidence here of what we think. That's why the one about the fiduciary duty, my note card's in their house.
Yeah.
About the breach of fiduciary duty, that's the one that actually can take you into handcuffs.
Yeah. And here's the thing with all of, I mean, just with Lenny's deal, not counting all the research I've done and background stuff that I've done, just this alone. So we have to put the whole thing together, and it may come down to a whole different act. It may come down to a whole different act. And I'm not sure where it's going to be. I've never gone down this road. Never ever thought in my life I'd be going down this road.
What we need is somebody else to help. How come it's just Jimmy and I and Joy and Nadine and Lenny and Matt and I mean there's a few other people here and there, but why is it just Jimmy and I, right? Why did I come back from hanging out with a bunch of professional athletes to come back to an empty seat here to just get put off and pushed off again because you're not important enough. We already have your money, so we really don't care what you think. We do not care what you think.
They're probably...
You voted for it, and we don't care what you voted for. We're still doing it. And
we bought the property.
And
how do you buy the property without getting the thing passed?
I want to know how somebody like Ann Barthrop can be so at the root of all of this stuff when she has no... I mean, I don't really know Ann that well. I mean, I tried to get to know her with Liberty Rocks, and as soon as I figured out that she was in on the Justice Center, I pulled back. I don't want to know anybody that wants the Justice Center because that's a complete and total conflict of interest with me. And the thing is then people can't tell you why it would be good. They just give you this bullshit. Well, it's mandated and we got to do this, we got to do that. Bullshit. Bullshit. We already covered that, folks. It's on the website. 24-1056, I think is the one, right? I mean, they'll tell you eventually in time what you need to do. We don't have all these mandates that we have to build a brand new jail. We just don't.
Well, when all the money was running around everywhere, you know, there was gobs and gobs of money everywhere, just flowing here and there. I mean, we just finished spending $800,000 of that COVID money. And then there was another $200,000 that showed up. Woo, where'd this come from? Well, let's spend it.
Yeah, and they get...
It's craziest behavior. Instead of going ahead and maybe paying for that land... Maybe use that money to get us out. Oh, no, let's go ahead and give them lots to Silver Cliff. Yeah, let's not get any money out of them.
Let's give it to Unicog, because Kevin likes Unicog, and so does Bucky.
Yeah, and Braden Wilson got fired from up there because he couldn't keep the books. This whole thing is such a fiasco. It is unbelievable how you hire your buddy, you'll hire your friend, or keep an employee in there that's inadequate. That's the craziest thing you could do. That is such malfeasance, it's unbelievable. Hiring somebody that's inadequate to perform the duty and to get, you're not supposed to waste the public's money. And you can waste it through a bad employee.
And we're not talking about making a mistake and then going, damn, we shouldn't have done that. Whoops. I mean, this is an ongoing systemic behavior.
It is. It's a pattern of behavior. And it's not going to break anytime soon unless we break it. Well, we got to be the cabal busters.
Until the money runs out.
Yeah, and it's running out pretty quick.
I'm so happy with what they're doing.
Yeah, I am too. But we have got to get some accountability in here. And I'm hoping maybe Mr. Vogelson is just kind of sitting there, kind of getting his feet wet. I talked to him pretty extensively before he got in there, and he was like, "No, we're going to do the right thing."
I did too, but it's like we put you in there so that you could stand up for us, and now you're not standing up at all.
Go along, get along. I'm part of a team, Jimmy. We're a team up here. We got to function as a team.
You got any more shit to bitch about? We about bitched them out.
No, we're we're all folks. Anyways, there's a lot of work to do. It would be good if there was a few more people would get involved. It would be okay. Not necessarily, but it would be nice.
Well, the thing is that we're not going to do it by ourselves. At some point, we're going to. Bill Canda don't want to listen to Jimmy. None of the commissioners want to listen to him. I haven't went in there enough, but if they listen to the podcast, Lucas, and you know what's going on, I'm sure you've had about enough. Like I said, Chuck's still got a bone to pick with you, pal. You lied to him point blank to his face and said, you told my dad that you didn't have nothing to do with the low-income housing, and then your whole campaign report, your whole campaign was about snapping your suspenders about low-income housing. I'll tell you what, Chuck's going to rip your ass next time he sees you, man. So if you're smart, you won't never show up to lunch anywhere.
Well, and it's a small community here. And these guys think they can.
We could at least have enough ball sack to say, man, I did it.
Yeah.
No, I didn't do it. I did. That's all the town people. And then what's he do in the paper? I mean, it's a whole page of how great low-income housing is, and Lucas orchestrated it all.
And that was because of that liberal gal. What's that liberal gal they named her? Got a day named after her now.
Peterson. Brittany
Yeah.
Peterson.
Give them $1.2 million or something like that. Woo, look at us go. Now we got them battery charging things up in here. It's some crazy, but see, that money just kept going. Here's the money. Look at me. I'm a politician spending money. Look at me go. And they're both towns sitting there taking it in. The park is another fine example. The park. This is a continuous pattern of behavior. Everything about these people is spin.
It costs too much to mow the grass, so let's spend $500,000 in concrete.
And let's not recuse ourselves. Oh, my dad did it. I know I'm the county manager, but somehow my dad got contract. Somehow this company got the contract. How'd that happen? Oh, you want $250,000 over budget. Good Lord. I mean, it's almost like fleecing right in front of your face.
Oh, I mean, and that's the thing. And that's what's so at what point, I mean, that's why I'm so happy with what Trump, I know Trump's got one of the things that I don't agree with Trump and all him, I mean, they're all Zionists, right? And I mean, I don't care what you think about that. It's none of my business, and I don't care. I can think it's still a free country. I can think whatever I want to think.
There you go.
But I don't agree with the whole Zionist thing. I'm not a Zionist. Damn sure not an Israeli. And I don't want nothing to do with none of that. And I don't think we should be involved. Them people don't help us. That's our best ally, and what do they have to offer? They're one little goddamn piece of desert strip of shit. They got nothing. No resources. No, fuck. All they got is American dollars going in their pockets.
It's a mess. Big time mess. But at least we got a businessman in there.
But that's what, back to Trump, right? About the good part of Trump is, and just like what Elon, I watched one of them clips today. Elon was talking about, we're not trying to hurt people here. But if you have a job that's not productive to society, then we're going to cut that. And it's like, that's common sense, right? That's like how we got from the 1890s to where we are today.
To the 1913.
Socialism. It's Fabian socialism. Look that term up, folks. They don't care if it takes 300 years. They are going to try to get you. Their end goal is to get you, even if it takes 200 to 300 years.
And I don't want to be got. I want to be left alone.
And I mean, they're doing a hell of a job with all the universities, the education. I mean, education is the key to everything. You only are what you know. But I think it's a great thing for them to take the spending from the federal level and put it back to the states.
Absolutely.
The greatest thing since sliced bread.
Absolutely. And that's where the thing is responsibility then, because it gets down to local politics. And that's what we're talking about here is local politics. I can knock on any one of the 3 commissioners' doors. I could walk to their house. I wouldn't want to, but I could. It's local politics. It means they're right there. Right there. That's significant. It's not, feds, I got to go all the way there. That's a long ways to have to go.
Well, luckily Elon's
up in there. He's interceding on our behalf. I feel like they are. Here again,
I know they are.
And here's what I really am irritated about.
when you got child pornography on the NSA computers.
Yeah, time to flush the toilet. But when
I don't know why them people ain't in front of the firing squad.
When these libtards, and they know who you guys know who you are up here, in other parts of the country. Well, Trump's never paid any taxes. I'm like, you got to be the most, you got to be the most stupidest person ever in the history of mankind. He created a $100 million building with the employees getting all kinds of Social Security taken out, medical taken out, all the payroll taxes taken out off of his creation, the risk he took, the profit that came out of that went into paying taxes.
And that's back.
That's where these retards don't get it even a little tiny bit.
Well, and that's the whole thing.
Never signed a front of a check.
Get the hell away from income tax. Before the Federal Reserve, there wasn't none. It was all tariffs, and we were the richest. They had so much money in the 1880s and 1890s that they were building groups to figure out how to spend the money.
Yep. People carried their own water back then. Now we've got people 4, 5, 6 generations of people that's never carried their water.
And ultimately what it is it's the corruption in high places, right?
Absolutely. It is. It's that bad influence. It's a terrible influence.
Right here at the Custer County Courthouse. All that being said, my head hurts, folks. We've had enough ranting. We've already...
Well, you had that low elevation. You got to adjust back to the high elevation.
Yeah. Go from low to high, my head's... Anyhow,
you're like a bag of chips. Getting ready to pop.
I'm like the ice cream.
The ice cream.
Poof, poof. Anyhow, folks, we appreciate you. We hope the best for everyone and their families. It's always a blessing in this world, whether you can see it or not. So with all that being said, we'll catch you next week. Thanks.
Yep, take care.